That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction
Mondays.
Monday.
All right, Christopher, what do you have?
Hey, guys.
Podcast off for the week. We're back on an actual segment on the Rich Eisen Show on a Monday.
Just a few topics here, boys, before we get to Seth. Did you see the big quarterback news over the weekend?
Jameis signed by the Giants.
Jameis Winston going to New York. I love the way he announced it to start spreading the news with the W capitalized because he's going to eat it. Well, guess what? Jameis Winston and the Malik Neighbors will be the most entertaining quarterback wide receiver duo in 2025. Like Malik might get 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
I saw that.
I think Randy Moss should be
on
TD watch here. Randy's record might go down.
Okay. I don't know if
Jameis is going to have 65 touchdowns, 45 picks, and throw for 9,000 yards.
I just don't. I don't know if he's going to start all 17 games for the Giants. I just don't know.
You're probably right about that.
I think the Giants are going to draft somebody and use that kid and then put that kid in the same quarterback room as Jameis and say to Jameis, you're now the OG, you coach him up.
I think he would take to that, too.
I think that's what's going to end up happening. And I think there will be times when Jameis is going to be the starter, and there will be times where Malik Neighbors goes off, and there will be times that will work. And there will be other times when Jameis just sees a window and thinks it's there for him to throw it into, and it's in the hands of Trevon Diggs.
Yeah, I like that.
And, Marshawn Lattimore going the other way. Cooper DeJean stepping in front. I mean, and that will cause Dayball to lose any remaining follicle he does have. And I don't know if he is the starter throughout the year. We need to see what the Giants are going to do. But what this does is give them a veteran who can wing it and open them up to whatever they want to do on draft night. And that, to me, is an indication that Rodgers isn't going to New York, and the Giants know it. So they went and signed Winston to a 2-year deal, and that's what I took out of this. But I don't think he is going to be a 17-game starter for the Giants this year. And if he is, though, then he'll have an opportunity to, be a new Geno Smith, right? Baker, first overall pick that has a chance to remake a career and in a way that nobody thought possible.
Look, you never know, right? But
I'll call it an overreaction for the moment and move on.
It's going to be fun. All right, here's the deal. I read the comments, guys. I know we don't talk about this team a lot. Why do you read the comments? So we're gonna talk about this team. I think about the division they're in, new quarterback. We got Chad Rader saying they're taking Ted McMillan. The Seahawks are going to win more games than the Vikings this year.
Oh.
No.
Easier division. Vikings got to play that first place, second place schedule. Rookie quarterback in Minnesota.
Right. I think that they are. They'll have a better record than the Seahawks. I'll just go ahead and say that right now.
Chicago's getting better.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
North is tough.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Run, better run game in Seattle.
Okay. I need to see it from Sam first. Obviously, I know I got a rookie quarterback in the other spot.
Season you just saw from Sam?
I just need to see it again in Seattle without Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba instead. We'll see what they do in the draft as well. But right now, I'll call this an overreaction. I really like the Vikings. They got players everywhere, pal. And the best wide receiver in National Football.
The Lions have players. Bears have
with
players.
With Jamar Chase right there next to them.
Packers have players.
What else, Chris?
Here's the deal. Some things in life are just inevitable, right?
Okay.
Yeah, death, taxes, Del Tufo flip-flopping on teams. Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, right? It's just a matter of when, right? It may not happen today or tomorrow or by the draft, but it will happen.
I believe so.
And when he does go to Pittsburgh, TJ, that's an MVP finalist. Rodgers on Steelers equals MVP finalist.
I think you're off.
DK Metcalf, George Pickens,
Mike Tomlin.
What if they get a running back in the draft? What if they get one of these Ohio State kids? We know what they got on defense.
Overreaction.
They got Mike Tomlin. They're gonna win a playoff game finally.
He'd have to look like Brady, and Brady didn't. He didn't look like Brady last 2 years, man. And he had players, pal. I would put the Jets skilled players up against the Pittsburgh Steelers skilled players that Rodgers had. Rodgers had at one point last year, Chris, he had Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, and Alan Lazard, I believe, was healthy for at least a part of that, and Breece Hall. The Steelers didn't have that. They had a better line maybe to protect him. And now Rodgers, hopefully when he goes there, will have a better Achilles and less rust.
Fifth at MVP this year was Jared Goff. You're telling me Rodgers can't be better than Goff next year?
I know you use Goff as a derogatory adjective.
I don't. I'm just stating that he was fifth in the MVP voting list.
I'll move on and call that an overreaction as well, Chris.
Interesting. Rich, you love the LA Rams.
Well, I know whose house it is.
Whose house? You love Matt Stafford.
I do.
You also love his receivers. This is the best wide receiver duo that Matt Stafford has ever played with.
I agree. I don't think that's an overreaction at all, pal. And I know that sounds like cup slander, but get out of here. And I know we're talking about also Calvin Johnson. Come on now.
Yeah, Nate Burleson's sitting there like, come on.
I was talking about, again, the last time that Devontae Adams did not have a full season on his team and lead his team in terms of receptions and yards was, I think, year 2 for him in Green Bay when Jordy Nelson had more. Or Randall Cobb. I had it written down somewhere.
I think it was Jordy.
Puka Nacua is the best wide receiver Devontae Adams has ever played with. Oh. And with all due respect to Cooper Kupp, this is Devontae Adams we're talking about. This is a Hall of Famer. And that's Matthew Stafford pulling the trigger? Yeah. Who is the other receiver with Calvin Johnson? I guess I should be looking that up.
Well, yeah,
but I didn't see it coming. But
I'm saying Titus Young is sitting there like the disrespect is real.
Titus Young.
Well, I mean, so let's just call what Calvin is the Devontae because we're talking about a gold jacket.
Yeah.
Okay. I guarantee whatever name you're going to throw my way is not as good as Puka Nacua across from Calvin Johnson.
Nate Burleson was one that came to mind.
And it's with all due respect to
Nate.
Nate.
The year that he set the receiving record.
Golden Tate was out there.
Brandon Pettigrew.
Well, but I'll tell you what, I'm only throwing Adams out there as Calvin Johnson because Calvin's, in the Hall of Fame, and Devontae will occupy a space there as well one day. But in this equation, Puka Nacua may be the Calvin Johnson of it. Yeah. I'm very high on this receiving duo, and I agree.
You're really adamant that Devontae's a Hall of Famer. That's interesting.
Okay.
Also, Golden Tate, no cap. He did have a couple really great years up
Golden
there.
Tate was nice.
I know.
Like, yeah.
All right, last one, and this is just because Del Tufo's here today. They're already 2-0. The Dodgers are going to set the wins record this year.
Which is what? What's the number?
I think it's 118. Mariners, right?
Is that the Mariners one?
Yeah.
Or, Mike, you're a Yankee fan. When they went 125 and 50, what was their regular season total that year?
114.
That was back when you were a Yankee fan.
114, I think, right?
116
116
is the wins
close.
record.
There it is. 114, 116. That's close.
Oh, okay. Yeah, why not? I don't think that's an overreaction at all. Certainly with the wind beneath their wings of Mike Del Tufo's front-running bandwagon.
I'm not fully on board. My agent has not seen that.
All right, whatever.
Mike, you're a joke.
Good stuff. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.